Short-sighted, no sudden moves, and a high price to pay. We're knocking out these 3 quests in episode 9 of our modded Starfield playthrough series. I'm Tommy, this Math Productions, and we're gonna get right to it. So, if you haven't seen the most recent video at the time of this video coming out, it was, we tried to add in a mod. Specifically, I'm so excited for this mod. It's The Gang Is All Here. It's so you can have more than one companion follower at a time. And because I hadn't yet finished this trio, I was saying duo because I forgot about no sudden moves. I thought that was short-sighted, but yeah. But anyway, so when I finish up this trio of quests for the Constellation main quest line, at that point it should free up my companions again, or my followers again, and their statuses, which should allow us to actually install The Gang Is All Here and play with that a little bit. So that was the whole goal in getting these done. I'm gonna show off how I kind of shorten how long it takes to get through these quest lines. If you do a few things a certain way, then you can get through both or all 3 of these relatively quickly. Short-sighted is super quick. It's just getting up to the eye and talking to Vladimir. He lets you know after some attempted repairs and some stuff gets broke that you got to go to the scout and talk to this guy, and he's got an artifact, so you're going to try to get it. We got super lucky with the aggressive option on the persuasion, and it worked. The other options at this point is you can try to pickpocket him if you don't persuade him, or you can just straight up attack him if you don't persuade him. There's a whole lot of guards on this ship, so there's like a ton of loot, ton of good stuff you can get. It would be a fight to get through it though, for sure. If you note though, that emergency wall, there are some ways you can even shorten it up if you have to go that route. But if you persuade dude, he'll take you right down to the artifact. You do still have to steal the artifact from him, and he doesn't like it. But if you hurt him quick enough, then he'll call off the fight. You don't actually have to do a big fight. So I just get my gun ready, grab the artifact, tap him a couple times, and it's already over, right? We got our power, and we just have to get back out onto the frontier, and we move on from there, right? One thing to note though, to backtrack a little bit, when you're doing the repairs on the eye for short-sighted, whichever Constellation member you're working with at the time when the repair doesn't work, that's the one that's going to end up staying on the eye to try to help Vladimir fix it further. Whoever you have your lowest level of affinity with, because that person is the one that had the highest level of affinity with you, but the lowest one, in my instance it was Sam, gets sent with you to the scout for the no sudden moves portion of this questline series. So when you end up getting to a high price to pay, and you know that you're going to have to make a choice between 2 companions, and if they continue with you in the game, those are the 2 that you're going to have to choose from. The one that's with Vladimir, the one that's with you. The one that's with Vladimir is the one that has the highest level of affinity with you. The one that's with you at that moment is the one with the lowest. You can, though, choose between the 2 which one you save. One thing I did there, just to note, I went ahead and stopped at our outpost and the Narian system before we came back to the lodge, because we did have a bounty from stealing the artifact from the scow. So I went ahead and made a self-kiosk, self-bounty paying kiosk, and I paid off the fine, so that way we could come back here and not have to worry about getting wrapped up in the Crimson Fleet questline too quick. But so we get back, we find out that the eye is under attack from the Starborn. The hunter specifically is there, lets us know he's on the way. Noel takes down our armillary that we have being built, or had been building, and we collect all the artifacts, and we got to make a run for it. So you can stand there and fight the hunter. It's futile, so I just go ahead and run down early, meet up with the gang. We go ahead and head off into the sewers that connects the lodge out or down to the well. Once we're in the well, we got to make our way out towards the spaceport. So luckily we're pretty familiar with the map. We just run. You can fight, dude, if you want. I I just run. Literally, you can stay with Noelle if you want, or if you know where you're going, you can just run. Unfortunately, though, I'm out of oxygen, so I went ahead and dropped save because I was super nervous that we were going to go ahead and get death number 2 at that point going. But we made it back to the frontier. We take off from there. That ends that portion of the fighting in New Atlantis, right? But we talked to the Scorpius in orbit around Jemison. We pop over to the Eye so we can check on everybody that was still up at the station, and we're hoping for the best at this point, right? But now we've seen kind of the flex from the Hunter. Yeah, knew that was coming. So again, when you have that choice between the 2 specific companions, the one that stays, the one that goes with you, whichever one you don't rush to immediately or have follow you out immediately is the one that you lose. In a sad moment, I thought this was pretty funny. They were trying to be extra chivalrous with each other and deciding who could go through the doorway first. But yeah, so unfortunately we lost Barrett. I don't like that because of his specific tempo and power that you can only get through him is probably my favorite power in the whole game. But it does mean that we'll enter into a new game plus at some point, and we'll get it at that time. Yeah, that's pretty much the end of A High Price to Pay. We leave the Eye, we come back down, see the results of the chaos of the Starborn attack, which is identical to the results of the chaos of the Terramorph attack and another quest line. But we'll talk about that when we get to that at that point. It resets all of the key points of interest that you had unlocked on the map whenever this map reset happens. So make sure at some point to walk back through and unlock all of those fast travel points. Yeah, we make it back to the lodge. Mateo is stuck on a specific thing that the Starborn mentioned, the Unity. And when we pick up next episode, we're going to investigate that further. Take care.